get started. Can you guys hear me? Okay, first question for me. Iga, welcome back to Roland-Garros. Just how have your preparations been for this year's tournament?
Yeah, I'm really happy to be back here. The preparations, as honestly as before any other tournament, we're just practicing, in a solid way and getting time for recovery as well. But for sure, the conditions changed today. So from now on, I feel like the practices will be more different than 2 days ago. And it's important to get the feeling of the court right now with the heat.
Hi, Iga. Good to see you. I know you love coming to Paris anytime, but does it feel different? I'm curious to know, does it feel different in your mind, in your head, coming back not as the defending champion for the first time in a while?
Honestly, no. I feel like, I remember all these tournaments that I played here, no matter if I won or not. So it all kind of comes up as one memory, I would say. But no, I don't particularly think only about last year, so it doesn't really matter.
Hey, Gary. We know about the plans for players, so we'll do 15 minutes of media today. Are you taking part in that, and are you on the clock now, and how are you policing it?
Yeah, I am also doing 15 minutes. I'm following the structure, and yeah, sorry. So, do you want to waste time on this question, or do you want to? Yeah, I am.
Next question, you raise your hand right here. Charlie?
Hi, Iga. From your perspective, what's the kind of main objective of this initiative? Is it an issue about respect? Is it prize money? What's the kind of number one thing for you?
Well, first of all, I feel like all of us, we have nothing against media, obviously, and we totally respect you guys, and we know how our relationship is, important, but with the tournament, I feel like we will do more when the tournament will do more for us, and not only us, the top players, because obviously we are the ones that have the most contact with you guys, but for also the lower rank players and the whole structure, so it's personally like nothing against you guys, but for sure this is the decision that we made and we will follow it.
Hi, Iga. Question starts a few months old because I didn't get a chance to ask you in Miami. I was curious for your thoughts about the comments made by the tournament director in Dubai when you pulled out of that tournament, who said both you and Sabalenka you both pulled out close to the start of the tournament, should get very harsh penalties, like losing 500 ranking points or something like that. Just what were your thoughts on that, on those comments?
Wait, Arena got a penalty?
No, the tournament director was suggesting there should be very harsh penalties and fines and ranking point losses for, maybe you didn't hear this, but.
I didn't. I heard about the complaints, but I didn't hear about the penalty, probably because it's a bit ridiculous. Well, we have a right to withdraw anytime we want, so I don't see the problem, honestly. Like, if we are not fit or we don't feel like this is the right time for us to play a tournament, like, are we slaves? Like, we are allowed to decide, so I don't see the problem. We get 0 in the ranking. That's a punishment.
Hey, Iga. I know you asked in Rome about boycotts, but I'm curious in general, do you think players would be willing to take a stand that potentially hurts them in order to make their point? Like, for example, I guess an option here could have been to not do media at all and get fined. Like, do you think players would be willing to take that step forward?
Well, that's an interesting question. I guess, for me, it's hard to know what's going to happen in next weeks. I think we will kind of follow, what we decide on. But, this also is, there are many factors like coming in, and it also depends how the tournaments will react. So I can't really say that we will do this or that now, because we also need to see what the reaction will be. And I don't think, doing something that is not constructive will make sense. But we want to push a bit more to to get what we need and to get the tournaments being more open for the conversations, you know, that we need to have.
Iga, setting aside the title defense question of last year versus this year and stuff like that, just how differently can you, if you think about how you felt maybe on this day last year, coming as the tournament's about to start, compared to now, do you feel markedly different in terms of confidence, game style, all these sorts of things, or is it the mindset the same?
Well, last year, my tournament in Rome was like a really cold shower, you know, and a wake-up call, you know. I felt terrible on the court in Rome, so for sure this year, after a couple of good matches, there is more positive vibe, and just it's good to just have, you know, some really solid matches on your shoulders and start the tournament with that. It's a bit different, but, you know, every year I say that every tournament is a different story. No matter if I won Rome, no matter if I lost second round, you know, we still have time to kind of refresh, reset, and start the tournament from a totally different perspective. So yeah, I think I will take good experience from this year's Rome and like positive feedback also after the matches. And, you know, I also had the chance to play under pressure. I also had a chance to play short matches. So I get the vibe of the matches. I mean, like the match rhythm, which is great comparing to last year, but still, like, this is a totally different tournament with different conditions right now, especially with the heat. So you need to like be humble and start knowing that you will need to fight for every match.
Hi, Iga. As someone who really values the working on the mental work and the mental side of sport, can you try and explain the difference of the work you're doing mentally in a period when you were super dominant on the surface, because dominance also comes with pressure because everyone expects you to win every match, and then now perhaps you're not as dominant, you're still really good on the surface, but it's not a bit different, and what work do you do mentally in kind of these different types of phases?
Honestly, I wouldn't split this, situations to, like, yeah, when I was dominating, when I wasn't dominating, because even when I was dominating, I felt sometimes, you know, good, sometimes really anxious, sometimes I didn't care and I just went for it, you know. For example, 2023, I played the final in Madrid. I withdrew in Rome, but I had a good tournament and here I won, but honestly, I never felt that anxious, you know, than in 2023. So every year is different. Last year, I felt like I needed to really work more in a tennis way than mental on these tournaments, but I felt a lot of pressure, a lot. Everybody was just looking at my clay court results and judging, you know. But for example, in 2024, I don't know, every day I just enjoyed. I really didn't feel any kind of pressure from the outside. Maybe I was like really focused just on myself, and it just, I was really in the zone, in my own bubble, and went for it. So honestly, every year is different. No matter if you're dominating or not, there are different obstacles to face. So it's more that you need to adjust to that and not really the results or tennis itself.
Questions in Polish, please. Start there.
Thank you, guys.